New York City Council member Frank Morano is with me now. Your wife and your father are in this lawsuit. They're involved. How are they involved in this?
Well, so this is a crazy situation. First of all, we could talk about the tax itself, which, for all the reasons President Trump pointed out yesterday, are a great way to drive business and investment and taxes outside of New York City. But then you talk about the implementation of this tax. It's supposed to be for people who have a second home in New York. Somebody that's got a $5 million home that's they're there once a month or something, and that's not their primary residence. But the city not only sent out notices to people who don't have a second home, that it's their primary residence, but they published this big supplemental tax roll of all these people that would be eligible for the tax. Guess who's on it? My father and my wife.
Names and addresses?
With their addresses,
Names and addresses?
Names and addresses, which brings up another concern that people are worried about in terms of potential scammers and that kind of thing.
So what, your father and your wife, what are they asking for? What do they want the court to do?
We want the court to follow the law. We want the city to follow the law, which basically said they have to do due diligence. We want them to, this is all publicly available information that the city already has. We want them to verify first who's supposed to owe the tax, then notify them, and then finally tax them. Verify, notify, tax, not the other way around. What they've done is they've forced all these homeowners to prove their own innocence. They're essentially sending them a bill for all sorts of time and effort where they have to send utility bills and everything else, even if they're not subject to the tax. I mean, this is one of the most inept rollouts of any government program in a city that has a long history of inept rollouts.
Total fumble, you got it. Change of subject. Councilor Mandami is supporting a bill that would require companies like Amazon and FedEx to employ delivery workers directly. Okay. Now, we had venture capitalist Bradley Tusk on the show yesterday. He says Mandami's anti-business policies are really hurting New Yorkers. Watch this.
In terms of understanding what it actually takes to run the city of New York, being interested in actually knowing how to do it, appointing the right people and executing on it, all of that to him is completely irrelevant. He's basically chased out Ken Griffin's new headquarters. The 15,000 jobs that will be created from that are not hedge fund analysts. It's construction workers, security guards, people doing IT. And the regular people who need those jobs are hurt by Mandami's rhetoric and politics.
Frank, I don't see how you reverse Mandami's anti-business culture and policy.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think Brad Tusk is exactly right in hitting the nail on the head at this culture war that Mamdani is dead set on waging. You saw that with this Ken Griffin video. Rather than show the people that would have been helped by taxing the rich, he instead chose, this was just a few blocks from where the United CEO was murdered, to villainize a rich person and basically tell all his supporters that guy's the enemy. That kind of rhetoric is incredibly dangerous. And it just adds to the smoldering flames of class warfare. I agree. It's very concerning. And hopefully the city council can be something of a check on this crazy mayor.
One more for you. I didn't know that city officials, city council members, each got a car and a driver. They get it all day.
No. But 52 members of the Mamdani administration do. Look, you can understand why the police commissioner does, and people that may have security concerns or things along those lines. But I don't think anybody realized that 52 officials in the Mamdani administration have taxpayer-funded chauffeurs to take them wherever they want to go. And we haven't even gotten a proper accounting of how much these chauffeurs are costing the taxpayers. Really, this is and this did not begin with him. Mayor Adams had the same thing. Mayor de Blasio had the same thing. But for a guy that wants to hold himself up as a man of the people, this populist working class hero, how about you tell some of your people drive themselves or take the subway like the rest of us are doing? I took the bus here.
You did?
Of course.
Okay. Frank, that was very educational. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Stuart. It's my pleasure.
Big time. Thank you.